Our text for the day, our SWOE text for the day, is taken from the 9th chapter of Mark. In the 9th chapter of Mark, we find that there is a father who is looking for Jesus, who is seeking Jesus out because the man stands in need of a miracle. The man stands in need of a miracle because his son is possessed by a demon. He brings his son to Jesus, who initially is not on the scene. Initially, when the man arrives on the scene, he is confronted by the disciples, Jesus' disciples. The disciples are unable to move on the man's situation. When Jesus comes on the scene, he asks what's going on. The man then explains to Jesus that his son is demonically influenced and had been so since childhood. He then says to Jesus, but if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us. Jesus then says a rather interesting statement. He says, if you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes. Now, I got to clarify something. In the original Greek text, it does not say if you can believe. In the original Greek text, it says if you can. It's almost as if Jesus was saying to the man, what do you mean if you can? The man has said, if you can do anything. Jesus then responds, what do you mean, if you can? It's almost as if Jesus was questioning how much faith does the man have. It's almost as if he was saying, what do you mean, if you can? Then he says, listen, all things are possible to him who believes. He's telling the man that if you can believe, then I can move on your situation. He said, if you can believe, I can help you. I can help you. The man then says, listen, I believe. I believe, but help my unbelief. Is at that point that Jesus moves on the man's situation and heals his son. And sometimes I wonder, we go to Jesus with our problems, our issues, and our concerns, and we have enough faith to take it to Jesus. We have enough faith to believe that God is able. We have enough faith to trust God has the power to do it, but sometimes we are haunted by a certain amount of unbelief. So there are times when we should pray to God, I believe, but help my unbelief. For instance, suffering with a long-term illness, painful, year after year after year, the same situation. Now you believe that God is able. You know that he could move on your situation, but sometimes when you're alone all by yourself and loneliness and comes out of the closet and chases you around the room, it's at those times you should say to the Lord, I believe you can move on my situation, but help my unbelief. Help my unbelief. And perhaps, I'm just saying, just perhaps, what God is waiting on to move on your situation is for you to acknowledge that you don't have all the faith that you act like you have or that you think that you have. Perhaps God is just waiting for you to say, Lord, help my belief, help my unbelief. Because see, God is the giver of faith. It is only because his blessing, his mercy, and his grace that we have faith at all. So at any point in your life, when you feel like you don't have enough faith, at any point in your life when you have just enough strength to hold on, you need to cry out like this man and say, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. You need to say, Lord, my money is funny, rent is due, I don't have my money, but Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. You need to say, I believe. Lord, help my unbelief when you've been dealing with a long-term illness, suffering pain, day after day, year after year. You believe that God is able to heal you. You know that he has the power to do so, But you need to say sometimes, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. My friends, no matter what the situation is in your life, no matter what it may be today, if we were all honest, there are times in our lives when we need to cry out like this, Father. We need to cry out to the Lord, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. You think you're waiting on God to move on your situation, and sometimes God's waiting on you to say, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. My friends, if each and every one of us was honest, we would acknowledge that there are times in our lives that compel us to cry out, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. Please rest and be assured that the Lord loves to answer that kind of prayer. The Lord loves you. He wants to strengthen you. He wants to encourage you. Stay strong, stay safe, be blessed.